Tonight, we're doing something a little different. We're not just looking at history, we're stepping into a parable. It's the story of the one and only Count Saint-Germain, legendary, enigmatic, maybe even immortal. A man who, well, he turned his own life into the greatest alchemical puzzle of all.
And that quote right there, that's really our key. It's telling us, hey, the point here isn't to just list a bunch of facts about the sky. No, the real goal is to figure out how he so masterfully built his life into this enduring enigma, a puzzle that people have been trying to solve for centuries.
So to get to the bottom of this, we're going to see it all through the eyes of a lone scholar. Just picture it. It's late. He's in his study, surrounded by stacks of old books, and he lights a single candle. His whole mission? To finally crack the secrets that Saint-Germain kept under lock and key. We're following his investigation.
All right, so where does our scholar even begin? He starts with the big question, the one that's always swirled around the Count. All those incredible things he did. Was it actual magic? Real sorcery? Or was he a scientific genius, just so ridiculously far ahead of his time that what he knew simply looked like magic to everybody else? Okay, so the first file he pulls from the stack, the very first secret he decides to tackle, is maybe the most solid of all the Count's supposed miracles. It's about his ability to perfect diamonds, a process he called, simply, the purification of the carbon.
And get this, people actually wrote down how he did it. The method was seen, it was recorded. Saint-Germain would take a big but flawed, cloudy diamond, cover it in some kind of secret chemical paste that he made himself, and then he'd just gently heat it for a few days. After what he called a chemical digestion, the diamond would come out perfect. The clarity was so stunning, it just baffled the best royal jewelers in all of France. They had no idea what to make of it.
And right there, that's our scholar's first big aha moment. He realizes, wait a minute, this isn't some hocus pocus. It's a process, something repeatable. It points to the Count having this incredibly deep, almost modern grasp of molecular structures, of carbon itself. This isn't sorcery. This is science, just way, way advanced for its time.
All right, let's see what's next on the scholar's desk. He pushes the diamond file aside and picks up a new one. Here we go. We're diving into the most famous alchemical quest of all time, turning worthless metals into pure gold. But you'll see, for the Count, this was about more than just purifying metal. It was about shaping his own image too.
The key to this whole legend, it's a mysterious substance called the red powder, basically his own personal philosopher's stone. The story goes he'd add this catalyst to a crucible of molten lead or copper, and it would actually alter its atomic resonance, turning it into gold. Now, he was smart about it. He only ever did these demonstrations for small, private groups, kept it far away from any nosy government types looking into his finances.
And this just perfectly shows you the two sides of the Count, right? On one hand, you've got the legend. He's a magician, doing the impossible. But on the other hand, you have what our scholar is starting to believe. He's a master of some kind of early metallurgical chemistry, using techniques that were just beyond anyone else's understanding. It's like legend and science are two faces of the same golden coin.
So, he's figured out how to perfect diamonds and gold, lifeless matter. The scholar's investigation now gets personal. He's digging into the secret of perfecting life itself. This is where all those rumors of him being immortal come from. We're talking about the elixir of longevity.
And what's wild is, we actually have records of what was in it. The base was something called sandalwood tea. But look closer. We're talking about specific proportions of senna, specialized aromatics, and essential oils that he personally extracted from rare plants using something called spirit of wine, basically a super high-proof alcohol. This isn't some vague eye of newt potion. It's a detailed recipe.
To our scholar, this looks less like a magic brew and more like a bridge. It's this amazing blend of ancient herbal wisdom on one side, and on the other, techniques that sound like they're straight out of early modern pharmacology. And its purpose? He claimed it was to cleanse the lymphatic system and stop cellular oxidation. That's literally the science of what causes aging.
The candle is burning lower now, the night is getting deeper. And the scholar turns to the most out there of the Count's work. We're leaving the realm of pure chemistry and stepping into philosophy. It all starts with something practical, his mastery of color and light, but it leads to his ultimate obsession, the universal solvent.
So, let's start with a practical example. The Count's paints were legendary. He would grind up actual precious minerals into a fine dust and then mix them into this secret oil he created that would never turn yellow. And the result? Unbelievable. His paintings looked like they were studded with actual gems. They shimmered with this inner light that seemed almost supernatural, proving he knew a ton about how different materials bend and reflect light. Okay, so this command over physical materials led him to chase the ultimate alchemical prize, the alkahest. You might know it as the universal solvent. It was this theoretical liquid that was said to have this insane power. It could dissolve anything, any solid object, back into its most basic liquid form. But here's the crazy part, the really important part. It did it without destroying the thing's essential nature.
So what would you do with something like that? Seriously, your mind probably goes to wealth or maybe even making some kind of unstoppable weapon. But Saint Germain? His purpose was totally different. It was spiritual. He wanted to use the alkahest to create something called potable gold, not for drinking, but as a symbolic medicine. A way to break down physical things to release the spiritual light he believed was trapped inside them. His lab work? It was basically a form of worship.
And this is it. In the flickering light of that single candle, it all just clicks. Everything falls into place for our scholar. He finally sees it. Every secret, every strange chemical reaction, it was all pointing to one single, profound truth. The gold, the diamonds, they were never the real point.
This right here. This is the whole mystery solved. The scholar gets it now. Every physical thing he did was a metaphor for something deeper. All those alchemical terms, calcination, dissolution, they weren't just for metals. When he was purifying a flawed diamond, he was really talking about refining your own character. When he transmuted lead into gold, he meant elevating your own soul. And dissolving matter with the alkahest? Well, that was about releasing the divine spark, the inner light that's inside every one of us.
So, that's the scholar's final conclusion. The Count's alchemy? It was all one big, elaborate parable. His lab wasn't a lab, it was a stage. And all those chemical reactions? They were just the script for a much bigger drama, the journey of refining and perfecting the human soul.
And that's why no one ever found his formulas. It all makes sense now. He never left any recipes or how-to guides, because if he had, people would have completely missed the point. His real legacy wasn't a process you could copy in a lab. It was the mystery itself, a beautiful, unsolvable puzzle designed to make us do the work, to look inside ourselves. And with that, our story, our parable, comes to an end. The scholar's long night of study is over. He gently blows out the candle and the room goes dark. But it's filled with a new kind of light, an understanding. He knows the true treasure, the real gold, was never some secret formula. It was the legend itself.
And that's the thought I want to leave you with. The story of Saint Germain shows us that, yeah, searching for answers is important. But maybe, just maybe, some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. What if the greatest secrets aren't like locked doors waiting for us to find the key? What if they're more like stars in the night sky, there to inspire us and to guide us on our own path of transformation?